Hey there everyone, this is Wacko Bob with another little session here. This time I'm going to dominate with a little bit of wrestling talk here. Before I go on, the second video you'll see, or the next video you'll see, is going to be me doing a little commentary on Vince Russo, so a lot of people can understand where a lot of things are coming from there. But this one here has to do with the giants of professional wrestling. And a lot of people have always asked that age-old question, who is the real giant in professional wrestling? Well, I'm here to tell you that there was only one giant, as far as I'm concerned, just like there is with a lot of people. As far as I'm concerned, the only real giant in professional wrestling will always be Andre the Giant. Because no one before, during, or after really could fill the shoes that Andre the Giant did. There have been guys taller than Andre the Giant, there have been guys bigger than Andre the Giant, there have been guys that are both bigger and taller than Andre the Giant. But they could never cover the ground that Andre covered, and the way he did it. Andre the Giant was basically, when he was created, he was something almost out of a fairy tale book. Because of the fact that he literally got to live a dream because he was promoted right. Gian Ferre, the lumberjack that he was supposed to be, that worked out for a little while. But here was a guy who was at the least 7 feet 4 inches tall, 7'5" at the most. And here was a guy who at the time ranged from anywhere from 380 to 540 pounds, during the length of his career. And really just showed you that a big giant does not have to be sloppy, is not always sloppy. And a big giant can also know how to do ring psychology. And that all came out of Andre the Giant. Andre, like I said, he wasn't the biggest or the tallest, but he was the most popular. And that's something that says a lot. When it comes down to just wrestlers that were simply big, for a while there was no one that could really match Haystacks Calhoun, and there were guys that were bigger than Haystacks Calhoun, weight-wise. But Haystacks Calhoun had something. And honestly, it really wasn't until a guy who was simply big could be better than Haystacks, that might have been bigger, until really Yokozuna came around, and he put on all that weight and girth, and was probably, if it were ever on record how much Yokozuna weighed his last appearance in WWE, it was probably close to the 800-pound mark. When you look at the Guinness Book of World Records, there are a lot of wrestlers that are in Guinness, for being considered some of the largest people in the world. None of which are Haystacks Calhoun or Andre. But those are, as far as the biggest and the tallest goes, are probably the most popular names out there. Now, when you look at guys today, who really carries their weight around like Andre did? Maybe the Big Show is probably really the only one you could really name. I don't think Great Khali is really good at that, and really, honestly, the Great Khali being listed at 7'3" is wrong, because the truth is, he's about 7'6". So, I mean, other than the Big Show, who else is there? Giant Gonzalez wasn't anything, or El Gigante. Andre, when you talk about giants in professional wrestling, he may not have been the biggest, he may not have been the tallest, but Andre beats them all. Because Andre lived it. Andre had a disease, but you know what? Andre lived every day like it was his last. So, there's my little conversation about Andre. And don't forget, check out The Dark Match every Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. on www.blogtalkradio.com/The Dark Match.